we are back again with another video, and today Leicester City match preview predicted lineup. Leicester City on Sunday, tomorrow. Huge game for us. Obviously Europa League settings. Leicester City got knocked out by Slavia Praha, and Arsenal edged it out against Benfica. If you go check out my review, reaction and player ratings for that game. But Leicester City in the Premier League, they are flying high in the Premier League at the moment. They are sitting in third, 4 points ahead of West Ham in fourth, and they are level on points with Manchester United, who are in second, and 10 points off Manchester City. So now the fact that Leicester City are now knocked out the Europa League, they can concentrate on the league now. And it does mean for Arsenal, obviously we're still going in the Europa League. Olympiacos up next, which is going to be such a huge game for us. Obviously what happened last year, in the round of 16. So Europa League does look like our only hope at the moment. But, we need to keep going in the league. We need to keep trying, because the point tally is so close. So at least if we can try and sneak into a top 6 finish, maybe try and push for a top 4, even though it's going to be so difficult for us. But, we have a lot of tough games coming up with Leicester, Burnley. Then we have Olympiacos, Spurs, Olympiacos. So that run of 3-4 games, even Burnley's going to be very difficult. But I expect us to edge it out against the likes of Burnley. But it's going to be very tricky against Leicester City. But they have James Maddison out, James Justin out, and Wesley Fofana out. So there are a few key players out, and hopefully we can take advantage of that. Looking at the match stats, Leicester have won 4 of their last 6 Premier League matches against Arsenal, drawing 1 and losing 1, more than in their previous 36 top flight league matches against the Gunners, drawing 10 and losing 23. Arsenal have lost their last 3 away Premier League matches against Leicester, receiving more red cards 2 than goals scored 1 in these games. Leicester have lost once to Arsenal at the King Powers this season, losing 2-0 at the League Cup. The only team to beat the Foxes twice at the King Power in the same season is Chelsea, who did it so in both 2016-17 and 2017-18. Arsenal won just 14.3% of their Premier League matches at the King Power Stadium, 1 out of 7. Among stadiums at which they played at least 5 games, only at Hillsborough 12.5% and Old Trafford 13.8%, do they have a lower win ratio in the competition. 3 different teams have already done the Premier League double over Arsenal this season, which include Aston Villa, Manchester City and Wolves, the most in a single campaign against the Gunners since 1994-5. Leeds, Liverpool, Newcastle and QPR did the double in that season over Arsenal. So as I said, big game against Leicester City. We don't have the greatest record against them, and earlier in the season we did actually lose 1-0 courtesy of a goal from Jamie Vardy, where Skodran Mustafi did an absolute disaster class. What was he doing? And since then he's obviously left the club, and obviously we beat them in the League Cup as well. 2-0 win, didn't mean much. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals, I think, anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. But the Premier League, it doesn't give us a lot of hope now. Even though the points tally is low, it doesn't give us a lot of hope in my opinion. But we have to keep going, we have to keep trying hard, because you never know when some teams above us drop points, they drop down, especially Spurs, because they're still in the Europa League, and I think Jose thinks he can win it now, going through to the round of 16, and they're playing like Dinamo, I think. So I think we need to keep trying in the league, but there has to be a bit of rotation, especially for the likes of Saka, likes of Aubameyang, who have played a lot of games. So let's get straight into the predicted lineup. Starting off in goal, Bernd Leno. Again, this is pretty obvious. He played the game against Benfica. He's basically playing every game. Matt Ryan obviously used to step in, but now it's just Bernd Leno, and I think he's quite good. He's a really good goalkeeper for us, Bernd Leno, and he's going to continue in goal for this one. First of all, starting at right back, I'll be going with Cedric Soares. I think this one's pretty obvious in my opinion, but again, it's probably Mikel Arteta. He's probably going to pick something else. But I think Hector Bellerin, needs a bit of a rest, even though I don't like him and I wouldn't play him in anyway, even though he was out for 2-3 weeks as a precaution. But I think Cedric Soares is a much better right back than Hector Bellerin, and me, I don't like Bellerin, and I don't think he was great against Benfica either. But I'll be putting Cedric at right back. Left back, Kieran Tierney. He is my captain. Seriously, what a performance against Benfica. Obviously got the crucial goal that's put us back into the tie, a few minutes after they scored their second. So a big one for us, and I think Kieran Tierney, he needs to come back into the side. Played this game against Leicester City. He knows Brendan Rodgers as well, and then we could bench him for the Burnley game before we play Olympiacos. So I think that's how we should be doing it with Kieran Tierney. But let's see how he copes with 3 games a week. He's a player that needs to be doing it, because he's such a good, useful player for us nowadays. Moving into the back two, we're going with Pablo Mari and Rob Holding. We played with that against Manchester City, and again, I don't trust Rob Holding that much, but we need to rotate, we need to switch it around. You know, obviously David Luiz and Gabrielle have been playing Europe, and Pablo Mari and Rob Holding have been playing in the Premier League, and I think that's what Arteta has to, you know, go with, and I think that's what he'll go with, because predicted lineup and my lineup, I'm trying to mix it up a bit, but I think Pablo Mari and Rob Holding are the ones that are going to start for Arteta in this game. You know, Rob Holding, look, I'll be honest with you, when he comes up against technical players, he's really bad. Pablo Mari, you know, he does bring a bit of experience there, and he brings a bit of calmness and coolness to that back line as well. I do think that with Pablo Mari, and he wasn't the worst player against Manchester City either, but Rob Holding, he's not going to come up against a lot of technical players, if I'm honest, so I think he could have a good game in this one. Leicester don't really have many technical players, to be honest. Harvey Barnes ain't that technical, and nor is Jamie Vardy, so hopefully that shouldn't cause us much of a problem, but I'll be going with the back row: Cedric, Rob Holding, Mari and Tierney. Moving into the midfield, first of all, Dani Ceballos. Again, he did get taken off in the game against Benfica, and rightly so. He made two big mistakes that nearly cost us the tie, and I gave him a 0 in that game, but I do think he's going to come back in for this one, just for the simple fact that he did come off, so he is rested for this game. And Ceballos, I've praised him over the last few weeks, you know, playing with Ødegaard, and I think there's something a little bit about him, you know. I'm going to defend him, but obviously last night's performance, I couldn't, you know, even more so if we went out the competition, but we didn't. So Dani Ceballos, I think he's going to come back in for this one. Next to him, Mohamed El Neni. I think I don't trust Xhaka at all, and I'm trying to put a bit of my sense into this as well. And Xhaka's just going to cause us too many mistakes. We've got a lot of red cards against Leicester recently as well, you know, in recent fixtures, like I said earlier. And I think I'll be going with El Neni. Just brings, you know, he's an average player, you know, and he does everything average. That's what we need sometimes, you know. You need someone that will do the basic things right, and I think that's what El Neni brings. In the number 10 role, Emil Smith-Rowe. I'm going to bring him in for this one. He did come off for Willian against Benfica. We could have really regretted that one, bringing on Willian, but he did well. And Smith-Rowe hopefully is a bit rested and ready for this game against Leicester City, because over the last few weeks, Smith-Rowe hasn't been that good, if I'm honest. He hasn't been brilliant, and it's expected. He is only 19-20 years old. He's just burst into the first team, so you're gonna have a few poor performances, but I think this game against Leicester is a perfect opportunity for him to bounce back and start him going again. Moving into the front three, first of all, on the right hand side, Nicolas Pepe. We do need a bit of Pepe in this team, I think, just to bring a bit of directness, cutting edge, you know, and I think Pepe can bring that on his day, and I think he hasn't been the worst player for us this season. He's been decent at times, brought assists, a few goals here and there, match winning moments as well, and I think Pepe's one of those players, you know, he just can't get a real consistent run together. But again, that's sort of down to the fact that Arteta doesn't play him consistently, but I really do think Saka needs a break. He does need a break. He's played so much football for us recently, and we need him for, you know, this tie against Olympiacos and other games that are coming up, so we really need Saka. We don't want him getting injured, so let's just go with Pepe for this one. On the left hand side, Gabrielle Martinelli. Now, we do need a bit of energy in this team. I've said this for a long time, you know, play Martinelli, but I don't know, it doesn't look like Arteta likes him. A lot of people are using protection as an excuse because of his injuries, but he is back, he's fit, he's ready. I just don't get why he's not playing games for Arsenal at the moment, and hopefully he can contribute in this one, because we do need to rest some of our players, and, you know, Ødegaard as well, we need to rest him. He's played a lot of minutes, because he will be someone that will be very crucial for us in the upcoming games against Olympiacos, and Aubameyang as well, we need to rest him. That's why I'm going to go with Alex Lacazette up front. He needs to get some minutes, Lacazette, because, you know, he needs to get his confidence back up, because, you know, if we need a chance to get through against Olympiacos, we need all our strikers, all our forwards, you know, feeling confident, feeling ready, feeling enthused, and that's how we need to go forward with that one. But for this game, I'm going to go with Alex Lacazette up front. Some may say Aubameyang, but I think he needs a rest. I think it's not like I don't rate Aubameyang, it's just that I think he needs a break in this one. He needs a rest, and that's why I'll be going with Lacazette. So that is it for today's preview and predicted lineup for this game against Leicester City. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think we'll win or not win? Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.